Welcome back, everyone. 13 after the hour, and in Behind the Headlines, we ask, we won the election. Now when can we smoke and grow legally? The marijuana midterms are over, and legalization efforts went 3 for 3, including Oregon, as of press time, with 92% of the votes counted, breaking Washington's previous record for legalization support. Measure 91 in Oregon came in with 55.74% of the vote, versus 2012 Washington's I-502 posting 55.70%, and Colorado's Amendment 64 passing in 2012 with 55.32%. This is significant, as experts predicted lower support during the traditionally more conservative, older-skewing midterm elections. Furthermore, Oregon set this record without the compromises of per se DUID levels and no home grow that helped Washington pass, and the absurdly high tax rates both Colorado and Washington used to sell legalization to reluctant voters. Alaska came in with 52.15% as well, like Oregon, including a tax and regulate scheme with low per ounce taxation rather than sales and excise taxes, and omitting any per se DUID limit. Washington, D.C. knocked it out of the park with 69.45%, but that initiative doesn't include a marijuana retail system, only home grow and possession. So, when do you book your sativa sightseeing tour of Seaside, Oregon, or your daylight dabbing in Denali, Alaska, or your White Widow walkabout in Washington, D.C.? Well, not quite yet. It's been voted to be legal, but you still have to wait some time before it is actually legal. In Oregon, the law goes into effect 30 days from the vote, or December 4th. But confusingly, that doesn't mean you're legal to smoke and grow pot yet. That's just the date that the state can begin working to create the rules for the legal marijuana marketplace. On July 1st, 2015, is when the personal possession of an ounce in public, 8 ounces in 4 plants at home, a pound of medicated edibles, a 6-pack, or 72 ounces, of medicated liquids becomes legal. July 1st, 2015. While an ounce of hash oil is also made legal on that date, that's only if it's purchased from a licensed retail outlet. Those retail outlets, as well as producers, processors, and wholesalers, can't even begin submitting their applications to the state until January 4th, 2016. So it will not be until spring 2016 at the earliest, after the first harvest, or perhaps later if the applications are delayed, before you can buy legal weed in Oregon. In Alaska, their legalization goes into effect 90 days after the election is certified, which should be sometime near the end of February 2015. At that time, personal possession of an ounce of marijuana in public and 6 plants at home, and only 3 of them being mature, will be legal in Alaska, probably around February 2015, as well as the possession of all the results of one's harvests in the home. And note the plurals there. All the results of one's harvests. However, 1975's Raven, Alaska Supreme Court decision already grants the privacy right to having up to a 1/4 pound and 25 plants in the home, so this victory doesn't change much for Alaskans in that regard. But by 9 months after the effective date, anticipated to be in mid-September 2015, the state must have rules in place for licensing marijuana establishments. And again, it will take harvest time and any unforeseen licensing delays before it's legal to buy weed in Alaska, probably around the end of 2015 or the beginning of 2016. Washington, D.C., on the other hand, is harder to predict, because all laws passed there are subject to the approval of Congress, which has 30 days to review the initiative. But there aren't 30 congressional working days between now and the beginning of the next Congress. So D.C. is not even going to submit it for review until mid-January 2015. That means by late February or early March 2015, and assuming Congress doesn't move to block the law, possessing up to 2 ounces of marijuana and cultivating up to 6 plants at home, again only 3 of them being mature, will be legal, probably beginning of March 2015. However, sales will remain illegal until the D.C. City Council moves to create a tax and regulate plan for the district, which is already forecasted to happen. That, too, will be subject to a review by Congress, so we probably won't see any D.C. pot shops until 2016 at the earliest. And remember one important thing. None of these places, or Colorado and Washington for that matter, have legalized public consumption of marijuana. Now that we've legalized, we need to set a good example so the states where passing legalization will be tougher can't use civil disobedience against public consumption bans against their own activists. And we've got a good look at what's coming up for 2016. I personally think it's a great idea that these states have put so much delay into the promulgation of rules at these states. We saw what happened with Washington and Colorado. Washington not licensing enough growers, having all sorts of problems with supply. Colorado having to deal on the fly with the edible situation and the marketing and the packaging of those products. Giving Oregon and Alaska till 2016 to be able to work these things out with public meetings and committees to determine what the best rules are and how they can learn from Colorado and Washington is only going to make our legalization even that much better. We'll continue to see the results that come out from Colorado and Washington. We'll be able to use those in our campaigns as we move into 2016 in most likely California, Arizona, Nevada, Maine.